Hello everyone, hello YouTube. This is o Gato de Salto Felipe, and today I'm here to talk to you about another aspect of Carnival in Rio, which is costumes, expectation versus reality. So you decided to parade in Rio, you have contacted a local coordinator to help you find out a costume or a school to parade with. You have been given the options of the school, of the costumes, you have decided which costume you want to purchase, and you probably got a drawing, a sketch of the costume. If you're lucky, you even saw a prototype, of the real thing. But sometimes you just got a drawing. So what to expect? So the first thing I can tell you is that parading in Rio is great fun and is a one-of-a-kind experience, is an experience that is going to last for your lifetime. The memories of it you're going to be telling to your grandchildren, and you will probably get pictures that you will keep forever. So that's something that you should keep in mind, because that's what counts. You're not going there for the costume. You're not going there to buy a high quality costume so you can bring home and do shows with them. That's not the point. If you have that perspective, you're going there with the wrong mindset. Why am I telling you this? Well, probably the costumes are not gonna look like what they look on the drawing. I am just being honest to you, I'm being sincere. That doesn't mean that they're going to look bad. Sometimes they even look better, but it's just a fact. The costumes, when they're ready, they look extremely different, or they are different from what they were on the drawing, and you should be aware of this. You should be prepared for it. You have to understand that costumes, they can be ordered either from an atelier or from the Samba school itself. So the Samba school is responsible for making these costumes. And of course, the Samba school has one big budget for the entire school, for floats, for costumes of the ala, and also for the costumes that you might be buying. Of course, you pay extra for it, but that doesn't mean that the money that they charge is what they are going to spend, or that money cannot be used somewhere else. It's one big pool, and so they're doing their best, they're working hard, they're just trying to guarantee the best results they can for the entire school, also for you. So it's normal that at the end, when everything is sort of done, the money starts to be more and more scarce. So they might start saving money here, saving money there, and it might happen that they save money exactly there in the international ala, for an international passista ala costume. I'm not saying this is fair or unfair. You have to understand that you're going to have an amazing experience in a country that is bankrupt, a country that has deep financial problems, enrooted also in the society. So it is difficult, and you have to understand that it's okay to pay, especially as a foreigner. It's our job as Samba lovers to support the way we can this community and this art, also financially. So remember that you're actually going for the experience and not for the costume, and be open for any last minute changes that might actually happen to the costumes that they were supposed to give to you. Now, when you do get in touch with a local coordinator, it's also important that you trust that person, because there are lots of scams in the carnival world. I'm sure you've heard about it. Mostly that doesn't happen, I must say. It does happen sometimes, but it never happened to me. It never happened to anyone in my surroundings, with big groups of people coming to parade in Rio. But it's important to be very cautious and to having full trust in who you're going with, and also understand that everyone is subject to the lack of character of a third person. You'd never know. So it's important for you in general to have a very open mind when you go to parade in Rio, also in relation to your costume. Okay, so they might look a bit different than what they were in the design. That is fine. I'm sure you can accept and you can live with that. However, that does not mean that you can be unprepared. So before we actually get the costumes, and when we are actually doing the communication between the Samba school and the coordinator and the international coordinator, which is something that I do, and we international coordinators are actually selling the costumes to you, you often ask for measurements, clothing size, bust size, shoe sizes, and different measurements that we might need. These are usually respected, but not always the case. Also, when the costumes is being distributed, not everything is super organized. You're not going to get a little bag with a ribbon and your name on it and then your costume. If you do that, that was your local coordinator who did. That's not how it works. That's not how you get it from the school. So sometimes someone grabs a shoe and don't look for the size, and then there's one shoe on a certain size missing. Everything is very chaotic, unfortunately, and it's important that you are prepared for this and that you have resources, So there is a small survival kit that you can take it with you already beforehand, just to make sure that whatever happens, you are prepared. So a sewing kit is always good to have, because you never know if whatever part of the costume is actually going to fit you perfectly, or if you must make an adjustment. So if you know how to sew, make sure you take needle and thread and, be prepared to do that 1 or 2 days before Carnival, because that's when you get your costume, okay? Another very useful piece of advice is to make sure that at least one within your traveling group of friends is equipped with a hot glue gun, because the costumes do have details. Sometimes they detach or they were not glued properly. Make sure you can actually do that if you are as perfectionist as I am. So make sure that someone has that within your group. So this is also a great valuable tip for you to be able to deal with last minute situations. Another useful tip is to take along old thighs, like this, because you might need it. They are very, very good to tight things. So let's say if you just get the structure of a bra and you need to tight it, you can use this to tight your bra. Or if your headpiece is not tight enough and you need to tighten it with something, you can also use this type of elastic material, which is just a regular tight, stockings that you would put to tight your headpiece. So this is another cool tip that I think that you should be able to bring and might actually save your life, in the last minute. Another thing, of course, security pins. Make sure you bring lots of them, because also in different sizes. Some of the big ones, if there is something bigger that has to be held in place, like a big belt that you have to pinch through. Some of the small ones, make sure you are prepared and you have these extra materials, because as I said, it's Carnival, it's stressful. Everyone just wants to put a huge show together, and it might be that something gets overlooked, neglected even, and that you have to deal with that in the last minute. So make sure you are prepared. There's no excuse for not being prepared, Yes, you're paying for a costume. Yes, it was not cheap. But that's how things are. I would be lying to you if I said, oh, don't worry, just hand us your money, and when you get to Rio, everything is going to be perfect and we are going to handle it in a beautiful bag wrapped up in a silk paper. This is not going to happen. I'm just trying to keep it real for you to know what is expecting you when you get to Rio, okay? And again, don't forget, it's all about the experience. It's all about being part of this amazing celebration, which is Carnival, and improving yourself as a Samba dancer, having an insight, having a look at how it works and how the costumes are and how everything comes up together. It's magical. Sometimes the costumes do fit perfectly, so sometimes you won't need to make any adjustments, but if you do, just make sure you're prepared. So if you did like this video, make sure you leave your thumbs up. If you have any questions, write me over my Instagram, Gato de Salto, or leave some comments here on this video and I'll answer them as soon as possible. So I hope I could enlighten you a little bit. I could give you some information about what to expect from the costumes. And don't forget, people, do subscribe to my channel so you know when a new video is out on its way to you. A new informative, cool video that can be about anything. Okay, so I hope to see you soon, and until then, stay well, take care, bye bye.